in my Lamborghini, because that's how much I have. Fortnite or Minecraft? Minecraft. Fortnite's kind of bad, not gonna lie. Compared to Minecraft, there's no contest. Oh my gosh, should I be like iDubbbz and like open the next time I get fan mail, open some of it on live? That would be pretty cool. A new question: Google Docs, Pages, or Microsoft Word all the way. It's just amazing. Sirius Black or Remus Lupin? Sirius. I don't have any fan mail to open right now. I opened it all earlier, but the next time. Yes, the new hoodie. I love it. Google Docs better than Microsoft Word? No. Sorry. Wait, is this... Oh, yes! Okay. Coyotes or Kings, you mean in the NHL? I'm gonna say the Kings, because at least, like, they're not the Coyotes, you know? Have I ever broke a bone? I haven't, like, broke a bone in half. Like, I've never had a serious break. But I broke my arm. I had a lateral fracture in my arm from hockey a little over a year ago. That is the worst injury that I've ever had, and it wasn't even that bad. But it was worth a 3-hour sit and wait and do nothing in the ER. So, you know. Now it's on. The weirdest experience I've had in my life? Oh, the weirdest experience. That's a good question. I've never been asked that. Jeez, I gotta really think. Oh gosh, now I've messed it all up. Oh, and there's product in my hair. Oh, it's a disaster. Okay. The weirdest experience of my life. Gosh, yeah. You have so many weird things happen to you in the day and you don't really pay attention to them because weird is just like, you know, it's not that shocking. God. I'd say, like, it's weird whenever, I get recognized in public. Not weird in a bad way, it's just, like, weird to think that this person's seen me on TV and they like are fans and then they meet me in public because like I see a lot of people on TV that I'm fans of, and what are the odds of me meeting them? Not super high, right? So it's like weird to think about it from a fan's perspective, because I am a fan of, like, you know, some things, right? Like, it's just weird to think that I can sort of have that effect on people because, it's just weird, you know? I don't really know how to explain it. I'm not comparing myself to, like, big celebrities, right? I'm not one by any means. But, for example, if I were to meet, you know, like Daniel Radcliffe, I'd lose my mind. And I'm nowhere near Daniel Radcliffe's level. I want to, like make that clear. I'm nowhere near. But the point is that, like, people have been, like, super excited to meet me, which is really cool. And it's kind of weird to think that I can have that effect on people because I don't think of myself as, you know, someone who generally does. So it's weird, but, like, in a good way. It's interesting. It's cool. I like it. I love it. Yeah. I don't know, but, like, a negatively weird experience. There's an interesting comment up here, and I read it, but then I stopped reading it. Oh. The most negatively weird. Um, when people ask about like different types of fan experiences, sorry, I haven't had a ton. I've had maybe 25, 30. It happens occasionally. It happened recently. It's fun. It's cool. Happened in New York. Okay, yeah, maybe more than 25. Maybe like, yeah, that was a low number. I don't know. I haven't counted them. But yeah, like I don't know about like negatively weird things, to be honest. I'm sure there's been quite a few. I honestly weird myself out with just some dumb things that I do, probably. Oh, I had to. No, that's kind of more like disgusting. I had to dissect a sheep eye in science. I didn't like that at all. I don't know if that's weird. I don't know. Someone said tell stories about fan encounters. I've had a couple pretty interesting ones, actually. Interesting in a good way, again. I was on a ferry from Vancouver to Victoria, which is like near Vancouver Island. Or it is Vancouver. To Victoria, right? Which you have to take a ferry from Vancouver to Victoria. So I was on the ferry. Can't remember if I was on the ferry home from Victoria to Vancouver or from the ferry from Vancouver to Victoria. I don't know if I was going there or coming back. But anyway, I had been sitting on I was sitting on the ferry, right? And I got up because there's always an arcade on these ferries. So I got up and went to the arcade. Not super fun, but something to do at least. And essentially, there are a couple people in the arcade, and they kind of stole glances at me. I figured they recognized me. I wasn't sure, but I'm never gonna assume that. I'm never gonna go up to them and be like, "Hey, you recognize me?" Like that'd just be really weird. So like I didn't really know. And then I was at. Am I getting a call? No. So I was at the ATM getting more money for the arcade. And I come whipping around the corner like I'm walking really fast. And I bump into these two people again. And they bump into me and they like... And they're like going like this. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And they're like... And then they start running away. And then I'm like, okay, like, that was interesting. So then, I go back eventually, and I sit down, and I'm just sitting down, and I'm like on my phone or reading a book or something like that, and they come up beside me, and I just hear like a bonjour. I turn over, I'm like, hey, and it's the people. Of course, it's the people that I bumped into like 20 minutes ago, and so they were French. They didn't speak very good English, but I spoke French decently enough that I could keep up with them. And so I said like bonjour, comment ça va, had a little conversation with them. It's pretty cool. It came in handy actually, not having so much of a language barrier. And so yeah, we took pictures and they were very excited. It was super cool. Probably the most excited fans I would ever say that I met. It's awesome though. And I've told the story before of I was on my way to Texas, November 2017, with Laura, and we're sitting in our chairs, right? And I was watching a movie, right? But every so often, I would get this weird feeling that someone was watching me, and I'd look in between the seats, and sure enough, there's like a girl watching me, right? And I'm like, okay. I didn't really think much of it. I didn't think that she recognized me, to be honest. That didn't cross my mind. But then at the end of the flight, we got up last, because my mom always likes to wait for the plane to clear out. She's all polite like that. Good on her, I guess. And so she struck up a conversation with the mom, I guess, of the little girl, or the aunt or something. One relative of her, whether it's like immediate or extended family, I'm not sure. And apparently, like, her and like a bunch of her soccer team are going here for a tournament. And so they struck up this conversation, and somehow a series of unfortunate events come. No, somehow the good doctor comes into the conversation, and my mom just casually was like, "Oh, like, you guys are fans of the good doctor?" They're like, "Oh yeah, like, we love the good doctor." And then as she said this, I got up, because Laura and I got out of our seats, we've been talking, and I look over at the mom, and she's like, wait a second. She just like, sort of, and then the daughter, who had been like looking at me through the seats all the time, she's doing the same face as like the French people on the ferry, right? Like they were doing that. And so I took a picture with them on the plane. No, sorry. I just talked to them on the plane, and then we got off the plane. They got off before us, because we had to like stay back and like put some stuff back in our bag. And so we come out of the lobby, and there's like 30 people gathered, and this little girl, like, I don't know, she wasn't that little, she's like 10 maybe, or 11, so this girl's standing there like in the center of this crowd, and they got the whole family there, right? Or like the whole soccer team, something like that. And we walk out, and the mom who I had talked to on the plane was like, hey, I'm sorry that we didn't do this on the plane, I'm sorry to bother you, but like, can we please get a picture? I'm like, yeah, it's totally fine. So like, we took a picture. She was very excited. She walked back sort of into her, like, little circle and did like a little dance. One time I demonstrated the dance on live stream, and that turned out to be really cringy of me to do, apparently. But yeah, it was really cute. And then and then in Austin, there was like a couple more. A bellhop of a hotel, like, jumped down the stairs in front of me on the street, and said that he recognized me. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's always very cool. I like being recognized. It's just weird, in a not a negative way. I can't explain it. Just imagine, like, from your point of view, like, if you're a fan of someone, or if you're a fan of me, and then you recognize them, you'd like be, oh, like, that's awesome, right? But like, imagine people feeling that about you. Like, I want to say this in like the least braggy way possible. I'm not bragging. It's just like, kind of messes with your mind to think about. I'm not gonna do the dance. Hi, Tasia. Oh my, I've missed a lot of notifications. My biggest pet peeve is when people start talking about something in front of me, and then they whisper the rest of it. It's like, or they'll be like, wait, do you remember at the restaurant? And then they'll be like, oh my god, yes. And then like they'll whisper to you with her, and like, I'm standing right here. Like, you could just say it. Hi, Candace. Like, you could just say it, you know? It's just, that annoys me, to be honest. I have never been to Michigan. My worst fear, I guess, spiders. Yeah, actually, I hate spiders a lot. Any song recommendations? Oh gosh, the list goes on. Listen to all of Rubber Soul by the Beatles. That's my favorite album. Even though none of my, like, super favorite Beatles songs are in that album, I'd say it's an album of, like... So if Let It Be and Hey Jude and Yesterday are, like, 10 out of 10 songs, I'd say Rubber Soul is, like, a compilation of, like, 8.5s. So that's really solid. So I love listening to that album. I used to actually like spiders, and then something made me afraid of them. Not sure what, really. Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sure what. Just, like, not a traumatic experience, obviously, but something that really bothered me at the time. I was at a Was I at a hotel? I think I was at a hotel. Or somewhere. Not my house. Thank God. And you'll see why in a second. And I was gonna take a shower, right? So I get in the bathroom and I open up the shower curtain, and it's fine. Like, I'm just like trying to figure out like how to work the thing, because obviously if it's not your shower, it's like impossible to figure out. And all of a sudden, I see two thin legs come out of the drain of like the bath part of the shower, and then more and more legs, and they start like running across the. It just scared me so much because like they just came out really quickly, and then it was like climbing along the wall, and I hated it. I didn't want to kill it, and because I don't like killing things, and now I just hate spiders now just because of that one experience. Because I always feel like they're gonna crawl out of the drain. Oh yeah, no, exactly. I know the way it climbed out of the drain is like straight out of a horror film too. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. You have a pet tarantula. That you are very brave for having a pet tarantula. My dad doesn't hate spiders. He just doesn't love them either. I just hate them. Well, I don't know if I hate them. I'm afraid of them. I like what they do for, like, killing insects that I don't like even more. So. I don't like spiders. Worse than Pennywise? No. I wouldn't say so. Pennywise, because Pennywise morphs into your worst fear, so really, Pennywise is a spider, for me. Hi, Hannah. What's my favorite hoodie? My Champion hoodie. Although I love this one a lot, it's the person who gave me the Champion hoodie that makes it the best. Random question, edge of brownies or center? Oh. Edge. I mean, there's more center, and the more you can get of a brownie, the better, so I'd say center. Thank you, Angelina. That moment when it's 2 a.m. watching my live. Holy. That's dedication. Get some sleep. You should need it, though. How old am I? I am 14. Do I say soda or pop? Pop. The only time I say soda is cream soda. Do you have an Etch-a-Sketch? I did not. I do not have an Etch-a-Sketch. How many Funko Pops do I have? I currently own one. Sent to me by a fan. Sent to me by you! Yeah. The person who asked me that sent me the Funko Pop. Are you gonna be in any new movies or shows soon? We'll see. To be honest, I'm like auditioning, trying to get a new role. At this point, it's a bad age because when you're 16, when you turn 16, you can start working 12-hour days. Currently, I can only work 10 hours, which seems like a long time, but it's not really in the acting world. And so they hire 16-year-olds who can work longer hours who look my age, as opposed to me. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a bad age, but, you know, we'll see. I'm trying my best. Argentina. Seems like a nice place. When you turn 16, you get your driver's license. You get your learners, yeah. You can only drive with someone like over 25 in the car. how many lines do I have to read really depends on the role. In The Returned, I maybe spoke a combined, like, 20 sentences throughout the entire 10 episodes, if that. But in A Series of Unfortunate Events, it was probably, like, pages and pages combined. More fan stories? Let me think. I met a fan at Science World. Well, I met a family, actually, of fans at Science World. Oh, the other day I met a family who spoke sign language because I believe one of the daughters was deaf. So that was really cool. I've never really interacted with, but the way that she asked me if I was me was pretty cool. Like, so first her mom came over to me and said, like, hey, I think my daughter's recognized you. I said, oh, okay. And she didn't, like, mention that she was deaf or anything. Obviously not a problem. I just, like, wasn't expecting it. So I went over and she started speaking sign language. I'm like, oh, okay. And then, obviously I don't understand a word of sign language. But she pulled up a picture of me as Duncan and pointed. It was like mouth, is this you to me, right? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And she was like so excited. It was really cool. And then I signed something for her, I believe. I'm not sure if we took a picture. I don't think we did. I would have if they offered. I don't really know. It was yeah, it was cool though. For other stories though, I don't really know. I met fans at the Hard Rock Cafe in Texas. I met fans I'm getting a phone call. I've met, if you want to talk about the weirdest place I've met a fan. Oh yeah, I've met fans like after my hockey games whose like siblings were on the team that we're playing against and just happened to be there. And yeah. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I know there's a couple more. In New York, there were people waiting outside the premiere. Was it the restroom because that happened to Noah Schnapp? I have never been recognized in a bathroom. No. I mean, maybe I have. Or a word of sign language. Well, yeah, they're words. You make words with sign language. It's just like they're in signs, you know? Is that wrong to say, a word of sign language? Why is that so bad? Anyway, no, never. I mean, maybe someone has recognized me while we were in the bathroom and then had the decency to be like, you know what? We'll just, like not do that right now. I've had fans approach me in a restaurant, so it's possible that maybe it's happened and then maybe they decided they wait till a bit later. If so, if you're watching and you did that, thank you. I do not know how I would have dealt with that situation. So you know how I used to have like that mini basketball net on my door? You probably don't. But I used to have a mini basketball net on my door, and it jammed my door. So like whenever it closed, I have to give it like an extra push, right? So I'm used to like throwing my door really hard, and it would just barely push. And it took the basketball net off. So every so often, I'll open my door and just slam it shut, and it'll make the biggest noise, and I'll get so scared that like I'm gonna get grounded. The most starstruck I've ever been. I mean, I don't know if I've ever been starstruck. Obviously, like, I mean, when I met Neil Patrick Harris, I'd seen him on How I Met Your Mother. It's like still to this day my favorite show. Obviously, he was fantastic in it. Of course, that was like a super cool experience. But at that point, like, we were. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to make myself sound, but like we were colleagues, right? Like we're working on the same thing. So, you know, obviously, yeah, it was super exciting to meet him, and he's a great guy. And he's a fantastic actor, even better person. But yeah, like, he made me, he didn't, like, I felt very comfortable, like, working with him and talking with him. It was really good. So I don't really know if I was starstruck, per se. Have I ever met a celebrity? I met Gary Volk. None of you probably know who he is, but he used to play on the Vancouver Canucks, and he used to be an analyst. That was pretty cool. Like a hockey analyst. I don't know if I've ever met like celebrities outside, like outside of acting. Yeah, let's see. I met Amy Adams. I met Tim Burton in a movie that I did. Neil. I can't think, to be honest. Have I ever met another Canucks player? I don't think I have. Oh, I met Ryan Kessler. He used to play on the Canucks. That was pretty cool. Yes, I did meet Tim Burton. I did this movie called Big Eyes a couple years ago. Or no, like way more than a couple years ago. Just had a small part in it, but I got to meet Amy Adams and Tim Burton, which is pretty cool. I remember, I don't know how old I was. Let me search up when Big Eyes came out. And I was probably like a year or two younger than how old I would have been when it came out. Big Eyes came out 2014. So I was probably, I'm gonna say, maybe 8, maybe 9 when I filmed that. Like, I remember thinking, because I didn't know who Amy Adams was. I didn't know who Tim Burton was. I was just going along, like, yeah, these are cool people, as long as they were nice to me, and they were very nice. But I remember my mom told me, going to set, she said, Dylan, you're gonna meet 2 very well-known people today. And I said, oh yeah, like who? in my 8-year-old voice. And she's like, oh, well, you're gonna meet Amy Adams and Tim Burton. And, Tim Burton's a very well-known director, and Amy Adams is a great actress, and all that. I said, oh, okay, like, that's cool, right? And so, anyway, when I figured out, I made the correlation in my head between being famous and having lots of money. And so I remember I said, Mom, do you think I can ask Amy Adams if she lives in a mansion? And my mom was like, maybe like don't ask her that. Like, maybe just have a regular conversation with her. I was like, okay, I just kind of want to know if she lives in a mansion or not. I don't know why I was so interested. In the size of Amy Adams' house. But yeah. I think that is for famous people encounters. I think that's it. Let me think. I can't think of any others. I'll get to be in the same stadium as Paul McCartney, which already is extremely cool. That'll be in July. And I'm hoping by some miracle I'll get to talk to him. I don't know how that would happen. He'll be backstage before we even get to the stadium, but, maybe a miracle happens. Maybe, imagine if Paul McCartney seen me on TV. Oh my god, I would die. I doubt he's watched The Good Doctor, though. Because he's most definitely... Well, it's very likely he hasn't watched Series of Unfortunate Events. I don't know how much Paul McCartney. I don't know how much TV Paul watches. I don't know much about him, or like his daily habits. I don't really know. Yeah, it's gonna be fun though. I'll keep praying for a miracle, I suppose. Wouldn't that be something? When you think about, like, I tagged the Beatles in my recent post, just like, maybe they see it. Maybe the Beatles manager of the account sends it to Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney sees it, and it's like, hey, let me meet up with this kid and give him a bunch of authentic, never released Beatles merchandise and photos, and like sing him a song that was never released, and like shake his hand and like get a picture. That wouldn't be too much to ask, would it? No, I'm joking about almost all of that. I would love a picture, and I would love to talk to him. No, I don't mean all 4 Beatles. I meant the account, the Beatles. Like, there's an Instagram account called the Beatles. If people thought that I meant all 4 Beatles, very unfortunately, that's not possible anymore. But yeah, that would just be. I think honestly, I don't know what I'd do if I met Paul McCartney. Just to like talk to him, and just, this man has lived through so many amazing things. He's lived through the Beatles. He was a Beatle. He lived through Elton John. He lived through Michael Jackson. He lived through all the great musical moments. He's seen Freddie Mercury. He met Elvis Presley. Like, what a life he has had, and he's still having. He's still touring. He's still going around. I have the utmost respect for Paul McCartney and all his achievements, and I literally am so excited that I get to see him. And I'm even more thankful for my friend who saw that he was coming to Vancouver and thought of me and said, hey, you want to go together? That's very great as well. So, yeah. But I'll stop talking about, because a lot of people are leaving because they're not interested in that. But I think I'm going to actually end the live stream because I've been rambling on for a long time. And I've kind of lost things to talk about. So, yeah, have a good evening. Hope you have a good Thursday, because I don't know if I'll do a live stream tomorrow, probably not. And, yeah, thank you for watching.